Hi everyone. So I wanted to show you how I made this piece of acrylic skin so that you could make your own or something like it. And so it does take a little bit of time and patience. But to start, you want to start out with one of these throwaway paper palettes that we use in painting. It has like the waxy surface. So start with that, and then what you're going to do is either use a gel gloss, or you could use a matte medium, or you could use, and this is to keep it transparent. If you want to make a transparent acrylic skin, you need to use one of these gels. Here's another one, ultra matte gel. I think I'll use that. And then so you clear, make sure there's no dust or debris or little hairs on this little palette paper. And then what you're going to do, the other thing is try to keep it clean. This stuff is so temperamental. If you just get a little tiny drop of color in this little batch, then you'll notice that all of your glazes have that little tint of color, whatever it is that you got in there. And so you're going to use a palette knife, if you have one, and take out some of your gel medium or matte medium or gloss. Now, if you're using this matte medium that is more fluid, then you can just use a paintbrush to get this onto the page. And so what you'll do is very slowly and very patiently just put a layer of this stuff onto your palette. And it can be thin or thick, depending on how thin or thick you want your acrylic skin to be. So I'm just giving myself a nice layer of this matte gel. And then what we'll do is let this sit. And if you like this very smooth, then just take your time and smooth out all of these little bumps and grooves, almost like you're decorating a cake. Just be very, very slow and patient with yourself, and you'll be able to get some really smooth acrylic skin. Maybe you want to keep the bumps and grooves to add some texture to your piece. So that's the first step. We're going to let this dry completely. All right, so this piece of acrylic skin has now dried. It's dry to the touch. And if I wanted to, I could peel this up and have it just as it is. I could peel it up just as it is, but I want to make it a little bit more adorned. And the piece that I sent you guys, the acrylic skin that you guys have, I put on this iridescence, you can see. And actually, this I used a matte, so it has a little bit more of a matte. It's going to be a little bit more cloudy than the one that I sent you guys. You can see the difference here. This is sort of like a matte acrylic skin, and this is a glossy medium to make that acrylic skin. So you can see the difference. One is going to reflect the light, and then one is going to absorb the light. You can still see through both of them. This one has actually several coats. You can see some of the layers here. So several coats of that matte medium, which is going to make it more opaque. You can see through that area it's a little less opaque or more translucent, and here it becomes more opaque. So depending on how opaque you want it to be, you can continue to add more of these layers with the matte gel, or you could just leave it this one layer. Now this piece, it's not just the glossy material that's giving that iridescence. There's these mediums you can buy. Nova Color does an iridescent pearl red, and that is what is over the top of your acrylic skin. You can also use, there's some Liquitex does the iridescent medium. So on top of this guy, I'm just going to put a little bit of this iridescent medium and spread that out. And what's really nice about layering another medium on top is that you're making your acrylic skin that much stronger. So you can see already it has that little bit of a sheen happening on the surface of that, whereas over here there's no sheen, so it's still matte, and here it's glossy or iridescent. So that's the next step, and then what you do is just allow this now to completely dry. Okay, so now once everything is dry, the mediums, the layers of medium, the iridescence, I then took this for the next step for this particular piece of acrylic skin. You can see these little scalloped patterns on this piece. I took a little Folk Art Carrot Gold paint. It has a metallic finish, meaning shiny. And of course at this point you could be putting whatever you want on here, but I'm just showing you how I made the acrylic skins that you guys have. And I did try to make sure that it kept very transparent. Maybe some areas there were more goopy, just like there, how it's a little bit more goopy. Just to create a little bit of a pattern, play with that sheen or metallic finish. And then to finish this off, to finish the acrylic skin completely, the one that I sent you guys, you could see that it has these little yellow spots on there. So the last thing I did was take this alcohol pearl. This color is called Alchemy, if you're interested. And last but not least, I just sprinkled a little bit of this all over the acrylic skins. And you can see they really do have such a beautiful quality about them. And so from here, you want this to completely dry. All right, so this is the last and final step. Once all of this stuff is super dry, and you want to really make sure that it's really dry, you can start to peel back your skin off of the page. It might need to be nuanced a bit. If it's sticking or not coming up for you, you'll want to put it back and maybe put another layer of medium, or it may be that your acrylic skin isn't dried all the way. So if it's tacky, you start to pull it up and it feels tacky or sticky on the back here, it means it needs more time. So just put it back down, give it some more time, try again, and if it's still not coming up, then add another layer. So this guy here is now actually on the back here, it's still a little tacky, so it hasn't dried all the way. So when this dries a little bit more, it'll be more translucent. But this is how I have made that acrylic skin that I have sent all of you. So now you can make your own or create your own design or create even more of this if you need more in your compositions.